You know what I mean? Now, everything that's racial is not racist. I don't know Riley Cooper. Riley Cooper might be a card-carrying member of the Klan. Maybe. But he might not be as well. And in either situation, him saying that word, him saying the quote-unquote N-word while drunk at a Kenny Chesney concert and angry doesn't put him on either side of that fence. You know what I mean? But for some reason, Chip Kelly, based on what Stephen A. Smith is saying, he goes on to say, you got brothers walking around the streets of Philadelphia going like this. What's up with Chip? I don't understand. Well, here's the thing, brothers. You're not going to understand. You're a fan. This dude is in charge of running a team and winning ball games. You know, the same dude that just re-signed his Hispanic quarterback, Mark Sanchez. Oh, well, that's a racist move. The same dude that everyone's saying is gonna drop everything and spend as much as he can and do whatever he can do. Oh, to get his Samoan quarterback. Yeah. I'll take things that racists don't do for 200, Alex. Come on, man. That can't be just the automatic go-to when you don't understand something. You start trying to pull these race strings and, you know, everybody's a racist. Like, Chip Kelly got a job to do. You know? And it's not like he said, all right, I'm going to trade LaShawn McCoy for a long snapper, a good Aryan, you know, purebred, blonde hair, blue-eyed long snapper. No, he got a hell of a linebacker. For a team who struggles on defense. Like, the more conscious thing to say would be, yeah, this dude isn't. He feels like, you know. Remember Mike March. You know, the world's greatest show on turf. Everyone called him a genius until he didn't have Kurt Warner, Isaac Bruce, and Marshall Faulk, and Torrey Holt, and Isaac Keene, and all these dudes that made hella plays. He was a real genius till he got. I think he went to Detroit, and then he had a offensive coordinator job with the Bears, I believe, and nothing worked. None of that same stuff ever worked again. But in the same vein, Chip Kelly believes his own press as well. He believes he's an offensive genius, and if he could make things work with a guy like Nick Foles, hell. That dude believes he can do it with anybody. Now, the side of the ball that he doesn't control necessarily is that defense. So what it seems to be, because another move that happened today, or that is expected to happen tomorrow, let me keep saying it that way, is the young man that played opposite of Richard Sherman for the Seattle Seahawks last year, Byron Maxwell, is being said that he's going to sign a very lucrative deal with the Philadelphia Eagles, which tells you again, you know, if I'm Chip Kelly and if I'm reading the tea leaves properly, I can get if I can get NFL players in here, just make sure that NFL players to play my offense, the system will take care of them. But I need big time guys to play defense, because the reality is that defense is on the field for a greater amount of time than pretty much any defense in the National Football League. And after a while, I'm going to say this plenty of times during the span we do this podcast, talent wins out. And if you can have more talent than someone else, you give yourself at least that chance. And that's what he wants on defense. He wants as much talent as possible on that side of the football, so that, you know, all else fails and your defense has been on the field for 80 plays and you need a play at the end of the game to win it. Okay. Call on Chip and the boys, or call on all these great this talent that I brought in here on defense to make me that play. I don't see anything wrong with it, but yeah, the whole, you know, some racist stuff is happening. Yeah, you kind of getting caught up, man. You're getting caught up in too much of the nothingness. And along, like, while we're talking about the Eagles, they brought in. They're rumored to be bringing in Frank Gore to take the place of Shady McCoy. Frank Gore, definitely not. He's nobody's slouch. A little, as they say, long in the tooth, football cliche, number 1 for the day. Maybe it's number 5, I don't know. But long in the tooth is Frank Gore. But, they still got Darren Sproles up there to take care of the third down duties. So Frank Gore, you can possibly see his carries trimmed down just a little bit, from what he's been getting. I mean, they started to go down little by little in San Francisco, which, by the way, has turned into a dumpster fire. You understand me? That thing is going to be bad, bad, bad before it gets good again. Like Colin Kaepernick, like that little like cap-friendly deal or whatever that you, with all those incentives that you sound like, people still think that Colin Kaepernick got broke off. Please, go review that deal. There are so many incentives in that deal to get him to that maximum guaranteed or that quote-unquote guaranteed money thing. That's another thing I want to explain to people. And I do it every time I get a chance. Like, don't let, again, this whole ESPN thing that they try to pump into you about guaranteed money, like all that money, like Ndamukong Suh, another move that went on today, he's expected to sign with the Miami Dolphins for $114 million, something like 60-something million guaranteed. All that $60 million is not quote unquote guaranteed in the truest sense of the word, right? Because you have things like roster bonuses, workout bonuses that are built into that if you don't collect. Like if you're not on the roster at a certain point in time, that's why some of these guys are about to get cut. Because some of these guys' salaries become either totally guaranteed or a great chunk of their salary becomes guaranteed once the new league year starts tomorrow at 4:00. So when they first signed the deal, that was included in the guaranteed money, like money that that they're going to make. No. That's not what it is. What it sounds like isn't always what it is, especially in the world of the NFL, what we're talking about now. So, Colin Kaepernick, he signed a deal in which one of those, he's betting on himself type situations. It's going to be mad tough, kid. Dudes are going to be moving on. Like, I didn't see this happening. Like Patrick Willis retiring, they were talking about his religious beliefs now and the things that he wants to do within his community or for young people, and the nagging injuries with his foot or his toe or whatever it may be, something around the foot area, guiding him to that decision. I don't know if you know Patrick Willis' story, but it's mad crazy. Like, this dude is 30 years old, and when he was a kid, that dude was picking cotton. Like, I don't know, to me, that's what's like, he had a bad relationship with his dad and everything, and he had to get taken in by this nice white couple in order for him to kind of turn the corner as a young man and as an athlete to be able to, obtain some of the opportunities that came his way as far as, playing football and sports, because like his dad was abusive to his sister and some real crazy stuff, man. So it's a real story. It's a real good story of a young man who persevered. And another part of the story is that, sometimes you need some help. Not even sometimes. Most of the time in life, we need help. All these people who feel like they're self-made this and I did this on my own. Yeah, go back and look far enough. Like, someone helped you. Someone gave you that boost over that wall that was blocking you from your success or whatever you have obtained to this point in life. But yeah, that him retiring, Justin Smith saying he's going to retire, like, they still got to deal with like Alden Smith, and no one ever knows what the hell is going to happen with that kid. Frank Gore moving on. You got guys like Michael Crabtree, who, not the biggest of contributors, but a contributor nonetheless. Guys like Vern Davis. Who knows how much long Anquan Bolden is going to be able to give you any type of positive productivity, because again, he's of that age that I'm always talking about with the hot potato. Like, somebody's going to end up holding that hot potato, and Chip Kelly is definitely hoping it's not Frank Gore, and it may well be. He's a guy who's 5 years older than Shade. He's over that 30 mark, 30-year-old threshold. So it's just one of those like tick 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 ticking time bombs with him, especially based on the position that he plays. Now, speaking of the position that he plays, the people down here in Atlanta, well, I don't know if you'll get a kick out of this or not, but I got a kick out of it. Your man, Steven Jackson, recently released running back Steven Jackson from the Atlanta Falcons. He's on a mission. He's on a mission to save an endangered species. And, a lot of people have those kind of causes. A lot of people are members of PETA. They love animals. But his is a little bit different. Young Steven Jackson wants to save the running back at savetherunning.org. Basically, he doesn't understand. And a lot of people don't, because people feel like, again, I'm on a mission. You understand me? To get people away from this hardcore ESPN, changing the narrative or skewing the narrative to be what they think it should be, or what gives the story more and more legs. When people say the running back position is devalued, like, don't come at me with, well, look at the Seattle Seahawks. They went to the championship 2 years ago, two years in a row with Marshawn Lynch. Of course they did, because you got to have 11, and you need a running back. The running back has to play, right? And don't say the Patriots run the football. Yeah, they do. But who is their starting running back? And what round did they get their running back in? You know what I mean? How many of these dudes do they use? Like, that's a better example. The Seahawks are the exception to the rule. The Patriots exemplify what the new rule is. That you just dump a bunch of dudes into the blender. As many dudes as you can with 20 and 30 numbers that carry the football, get them. And let's figure it out. Give them a role, and let's figure it out. That's why the position is devalued. It's not because you don't need one. It's that you can get them from anywhere. You can get a quality one, not from anywhere, but you can get a quality running back later on in the draft, as has been shown in recent years. You don't have to risk a lot to get a lot out of that position. And I think that's where people take offense with the whole devaluing thing. No one's saying you don't need a running back. Of course you do. Of course you do. But it's better now to have 2 or even 3. 3 with a couple of different skill sets. Like Mark Ingram just signed back with the Saints. I think for somewhere around $4 million. Now, that's a far cry from Shady's deal. I think Shady's going to make something like 11 this year, maybe, is what's being reported. So you see the disparity in a guy who is all right. He's all right, but he's serviceable. Mark Ingram had his best season as a pro last year. And a guy who people look at as one of the upper echelon at the position. There's a big disparity there. And what's seemingly going to happen with a guy like DeMarco Murray, as he searches for an NFL home next year, the reality of what that position is going to offer you is going to hit him. And what he's going to find out more so than anything is that I can't do that whole I still want to win a championship thing because I play running back. There will be no next deal for me. Like this deal needs to be the best deal. Period. Now, again, if it's close, maybe you factor in the whole, and that's what the Cowboys are hoping for. By the way, they're hoping for the ability to be able to match or at least come close to any other deal that he's offered by maybe a lesser team. And then throw in the fact that there are no state taxes in the state of Texas, which, will allow you to save some of the money that maybe we're not paying you salary-wise. Now, that being said, he's going to find out exactly what the market is. The market, I don't think, is what the Bills paid LaShawn McCoy or are planning on paying LaShawn McCoy. I think it's somewhere in between that and what somewhere in the midpoint, I should say, between that and what Mark Ingram got at about $4 million for a guy like DeMarco Murray, who, let's just face it, man, he got like hella carries on his back. Like last year was a great year for him. The only real injury was the finger situation, and he played his butt off. But the thing you got to ask yourself is who wants to be left holding the hot potato after we juggle it around and pass it around. Who wants to be left holding that hot potato? You're listening to the Sports Kings podcast. I am Big Mike. My partner, Rob Calloway, is out for the night. So you got me. Just me. You can hear this podcast via